grateful to be here. Thank you. One of my memories in my life was on a cruise with you and Jerry, with my husband, Ed. My husband last month passed, and my heart is broke.
Yeah.
I met Ed at 13. I married him at 17. And, sorry.
And you got in the habit of liking him around.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
I know, loving him around.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I took an experience to the mountains the other day. And when I was up there, I was taken to a space that I've never been in my life. And I look at the photos the next day, and I see images, and I see spirit. And I've been yearning for that.
Yeah, and the yearning, it can't come, but we know what you mean.
And there's messages that I need to tell the world, though. That the spirit, they want us as much as we want them.
Yeah.
And it's an experience I'm confused with in life right now, with missing Ed.
Well, it'll get better.
Thank you.
Better and better and better and better. But there are a number of things that we want to say to you. And you understand them already, but it will feel good to you to hear them. We were playfully saying you liked, and you said loved, having him around. And then we wanted to say, well, that hasn't changed. Esther, when Jerry made his transition, she sort of played it both ways. Sometimes she was just mad at him for being gone. But it felt so much better to her to realize that she really liked him being around, and she wanted to believe us when we said he would continue to be around. And so we've been talking quite a bit recently, in large part because of Esther's experience, but not just Esther's, a lot of you. This experience of those that you love making their transition into non-physical is rampant. It always has been, and it always will be. In other words, it is a continuum of life experience. But the thing that is distorted, that we and you and Jerry and Ed would like to put into clear alignment, is that most often physical friends think, well, we're here now, and new ones are being born, and some are leaving, and some are coming, and some are leaving, and some are coming. But the bulk of us are here. Turns out that's not true. There are many more in the process than are actually here in clumps on chairs. But you have this picture of this coming and going and coming and going and coming and going, and then people try to adjust to that. Like, well, it was their time to be young, and then it was their time to be at the prime of their life, and then there was their time to move on through. And it isn't, that is a distorted point of view. The reality of it is that no one ever leaves, because everyone who has lived and loved and what you would call left, lived, loved, and left, didn't go. And what Esther began to realize in her yearning for the good times that she had experienced, in her yearning for that, she disallowed what was possible in the moment. In her yearning or memory of what was, and now lackful comparison of what was and what is, she held herself apart from what she really wanted to understand, what she really wanted to know, and what she really wanted to experience. So she began, like you, and it was sort of by trial and error, even though there is no error. It was sort of by just exposure to thought and life and thoughts and life and thought and life. She discovered that when she would take a specific head-on thought, something like, all right, Jerry, Abraham has taught me that we are eternal beings, and so I accept that you are, and I know that there is no death, and so I know that you're out there somewhere. When she tried to look out there into the somewhere where she had conjured that he was, all she felt was more lack, because she couldn't find him in the out there. In other words, she couldn't find that vibrational place. She didn't know how to perceive that. And the harder she tried, the worse she felt, and the more she missed him. But after a little while, she kind of got back into what she needed to do. And she sat one day to do something that he had always done. It was the adding of the tracks to a recording like this, the listening and the deciding where the tracks should be, and the emphasis to put upon the conversation that had just taken place. He used to sit here and make those decisions as the seminar would unfold. So as Esther sat to do that one day, starting out missing him because, you bugger, you're not here to do the work that you were supposed to be here to do, and you were the one that got me into this, and then you took off. So as she sat to do it, she felt this clarity and brilliance and certainty and knowing and confidence and joy and exhilaration as she did it. And she realized that's the way to get him to be there, not to stand in the absence of him and look around to find him, but to get on with what she and he are excited about and feel the current present tense right here in the present tense now moment. You see, you go to that beautiful place and you look out at that beautiful vista and you allow yourself to be the being that you are, and you discover that you are no longer just the being that you used to be. Now you are more, you see. And so over time, it's been several months for Esther now, she's discovered that she can feel a richness and a fullness beyond anything that she experienced when he was standing next to her. Because then she didn't have the melding of the minds, not always. Then she didn't have the melding of the intentions. Then she didn't have the desire for the source energy to flow through her in the powerful way that she has it now. So this is the message that we are wanting people to understand. We want you to understand that the reason that your earth has the continuity that it does is because those who have been in on the planning of it are still in on the thinking about it. And the difference between non-physical energies looking in on what you've got going on is that we are looking at what's in your vortex, not just what's in your physical environment, you see. And when you can find a way to find that vibrational hook, then you'll be that happy being that we were talking about earlier. Happy because the fullness of all that you are is focused in this moment in time, you see. You have access to everyone you've loved, to everyone you've revered, to everyone you've appreciated. You have access to every thought that's ever been thought. But when some dear person who matters to you more than life itself makes their transition, and then you get to feel the presence of them in your right here now moment, that's when you really begin. And that's only when you understand the continuity of life. That's when you understand that there is no separation between any of us, you see. That's when you find out who you really are. You see, you always thought, you all do, you think that you're just you, and you've always been a whole bunch of us. You think that idea was just yours. You just prepared yourself vibrationally for the receiving of the idea. You've always been collective consciousness, you see. You've always been collective consciousness. You've never, not one of you, ever been singular consciousness. You've always been collective consciousness. It's just that when you have an experience like this, your desire gets up there big time, and you find a way to consciously and deliberately allow the collective consciousness, you see. Nothing better.
Well, the one thing that I can do that I probably had in me that I didn't know is I write poetry, and I could write 2 a day. Yeah. And they're amazing, and they're from my heart. And I share them, and people are like in awe of the way I speak now. Yeah. And that is a magical.
Because you have allowed yourself to reach for, and because of your discomfort finally find the collective consciousness that was always available to you. See, it surprised Esther a little bit because she's been allowing the collective consciousness of Abraham for quite some time. So she knew that she could receive non-physical energy. She knows that she quiets her mind. She just didn't know that it was going to be the case with Jerry. She just didn't know that it can be the case with everyone. She did not understand what that connection really is until now, you see. Really good.
And I wrote when I showed up here that I told Ed I was here, and I said, please.
That's another thing. You don't need to tell him that stuff.
Okay.
But
I can get in the seat, though. It was like I wanted to share with you.
We're just saying, Esther does that. Every morning, just about, she writes. And she sort of explains what's been going on. And now she's just laughing because she knows she doesn't need to. But the description of it does help you to focus.
Right. It was getting my emotions out.
Right. Yeah. Good.
Thank you.
Yes, indeed.
Hello, Abraham and Esther Ham.
Esther likes Jester Ham.
That's a good one. I couldn't claim that one. Anyway.
Well, Jerry and Esther used to walk down this country road, and there was a gate that said Delmar Farms. And his name was Delbert, and her name was Martha, so Delmar Farms. And so Esther said we would be Jester. Ham.
Ham. Well, that's a good one. It's funny, when you started talking today at the workshop, it was precisely about what I have been thinking about. And then when that other lady came up, she was speaking of a loss, and I too, I spoke to you last June, actually, about the loss of my daughter.
Well, let's get something straight.
Okay.
It is not a loss.
No, agreed.
It is an exponential, significant, indescribable gain.
Well, you told me she had 2 birthdays on that day, so it was, and I agree with that. But that isn't what really I wanted to talk about, because.
Well, I just want to clean up your words.
Oh, thanks.
There's no loss. There's no loss.
There is no loss. No, I experience her
There's
now
only
more
pinching
fully.
off from inevitable gain, but there is no loss. It's just a perceptual thing that you do to yourselves.
Well, as you were saying, my life is going really good, and I now can get in touch with her a lot more easier, her energy.
Yeah.
But what I wanted to ask you was this thing about asking as given, and I've been waiting a long time and working on this thing, and I've been getting just more juiced up and more powerful and more energized as the time goes on. I mean, my life has been
it's
better.
full of gifts even before it is manifested.
Absolutely.
Just want to stick that in there. Because the whole reason for it is to get juiced up.
Mm-hmm.
The whole reason to have a goal that will manifest and then eventually be boring is for the juiced up time in the interim.
I gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah.
But with this thing that I've been working with, I had hope, and a lot of hope, and the hope has turned to knowing, but still it hasn't come to fruition yet.
Maybe there's more juice to get out of it.
Oh, there's lots more.
So enjoy the juice. Enjoy the juice. That really is the message here. If you're enjoying the juice, then the object of desire is serving you. And if you are consistently enjoying the juice, it has to manifest. There is no way that it cannot, and it has to do it quickly. So if it's not coming quickly, you're enjoying it and not enjoying it, enjoying it and not enjoying it, and not enjoying it, not enjoying it, not enjoying it, enjoying it, not 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 enjoying it, enjoying it, enjoying, not. You got to keep the juice going yourself.
Well, I got to say that I still am. I mean, I've been writing a lot of music. I've got half of another Abraham CD written.
Yeah.
So I'm still juiced. I'm just
Yeah. Your music is inspired. And there are a lot of people who want to hear it. And it's eminent. Get out.